Hi guys, how are
Hi.
you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Doing well. To start, I wanted to ask, rarely do we get to see a father and daughter kind of grieving together in a movie. A lot of the times it's either one person or a father and son or a mother and son. How was it getting to work together on figuring out where their relationship is at any point in this movie and making sure you guys were kind of on the same page about these characters and their journey together?
I think even from the script, it's very evident that our characters are at complete opposite ends of the grief spectrum.
Mm.
They're both dealing with it extremely differently, and I think everything that Nina is doing is the complete opposite of what Roger needs, and vice versa. And so we meet them butting heads. And then I think, yeah, I spoke with Scarlett about kind of their journey and how Nina was sort of like feeling she wants to talk about it so badly, and it's not the environment for her to be able to do that. Um, but yeah, they figure it out in the end.
Yeah, I thought it was really special in the way that the story was constructed, that it's almost as if the grief isn't it didn't read to me as the grief was the beginning and end of their issue. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like their issues had happened over a long period of time, and when his wife, her mother was still alive, and the complications in the relationship, and all of those things are still there, and this kind of and this absence, this loss is felt because it's kind of permanent in that environment as well. And the way I think that it's shot in that large apartment, we're always very separated, and you feel the absence of the other person. You feel the absence of her very much and very strongly in the film. And so it felt very truthful to me, I guess, is what I'm saying. It just felt very honest to all of these kinds of dynamics that happen and how they can begin to be resolved, I suppose.
Yeah, and Erin, I really love that she does have a tie to her father with through journalism and like going through the story and like finding the connection there. How was it, learning about a character's relationship with her father, but through something that is kind of the focal point of the film and getting to kind of figure out what that means to her throughout it?
Um, I think the whole point of her even taking her journalism classes to get close to her father. I think she's run out of run out of ideas in how to connect with him, and I think she has an interest in it, but it might not be like her first passion, and so she uses that as a way to get closer to him. Um, and then when it works, you can see that she's like she gets extremely passionate about it then, because it's working. She's building a connection with her dad. That was her whole sort of plan from the start. So yeah.
And Chiwetel, this is now you keep making movies that make me cry, and you gotta stop because it got you for Life of Chuck, and now it's this movie. What for you is like because you've done a lot, like you do genre pieces, like I love Z for Zachariah. You've done The Old Guard, and then you do these kind of more intense dramas and heartfelt movies. What for you is like the thing that makes it so fun to kind of come back to these kind of movies and make an audience sob and then go back to a genre piece?
Yeah. It's just my response to the script. So, I don't really have an oeuvre or a really strong rationale for the work that I choose, actually. It's just how it makes me feel when I read it. I'm a big fan of films and a big fan of, going to the movies and seeing different kinds of films. And that's kind of how I think that's how I sort of read film. If I'm entertained, if I'm moved, if I'm engaged, if it's making me think about something that's sort of new or different, or just taking my mind in a sort of different direction, or exploring an emotion that I haven't really thought about for a while, or especially if something is underneath the surface and the film is kind of teasing that out. I just feel like those sorts of things are really attractive to me as an actor.
Well, I love this movie. I love both of you. Before I leave, Aaron, I do have to say I'm a solo girly, so I want to see that character back so badly in the Star Wars universe. But thank you guys for talking with
I
me, and
love
I
that.
can't wait for everyone else to get to see Eleanor the Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you guys. Have a good
Bye.
one.